This is a Whiten shoe. Whiten is a sort of generic Amazon-only shoe company that makes a lot of sort of barefoot type of shoes. And this one kind of fits in that mold. It's officially called, as of this moment, the Men's Zero Drop plus wide toe box with contrasting color design. But you might see it also called a trail shoe or a barefoot shoe or zero drop or other names depending on what month it is, or if you've seen this on AliExpress or maybe on eBay, though that's probably just dropship from Amazon. Like the other shoe reviews I've made, this is looking at this shoe primarily as a mountain biking shoe. So why would you look at a shoe like this? Probably because you're interested in barefoot type shoes, or at least natural fit type of shoes. And this thing is very much that. It has a really wide square toe box. It also has, a removable insole, so you can run these pretty dang flat. It's claimed to be zero drop. I believe them. It also doesn't have a whole lot of rocker to it. You can see it's pretty flat. As a cycling shoe, if we're going to look at it for that usage, we're going to want to know, especially since they've sort of put this in the barefoot category, is like, how stiff is the sole? Like, are you going to feel your pedal pins through here? Is this thing going to flex all over the place and make your feet tired? And actually, this shoe is pretty stiff. It's not as stiff as a cycling shoe. It does have some walkability to it. But I wouldn't say that it has like a rigid shank running inside of it or anything that would give it like true stiffness. But I think it's stiff enough to ride on for most people on, like a nice wide mountain bike pedal. It does have this kind of rubber textured sole, which is almost like a Vans in reverse, where the knobby's sticking up. It has decent traction on dirt. The rubber is not any really special in terms of its stickiness. I think it functions great if you're really doing free ride stuff and you want to stick to your soles and have them adhere to those pins. You probably want something like a 510 that uses a fancier piece of rubber. But these are some really basic Amazon shoes. They're built to be cheap. So you kind of get what you pay for. The upper construction, they call this a contrasting panel, and normally this heel cup material is the same color here on this panel. I thought that looked kind of weird, so Sharpie to the rescue. I kind of colored this in black so it looks a little more normal from a distance. It has this toe box that's mostly, I would say, decorative. It gives it some abrasion resistance, but it doesn't have a lot of stiffness to it, but it's better than nothing. It does have a little toe bumper here to protect your big toe from rocks. Doesn't have any kind of like a rigid heel counter, but it's got some stiffness based on the multiple layers of fabric going on in here. Other than that, I mean, it's very low tech. It's almost got, I believe it's just a single piece of material that runs all the way around from the toe here, so very little stitching and things like that, no frills. This material is pretty dense and stiff, feels like a heavy canvas. I heard some people complain that when they walk uphill, like the material folds and kind of pinches in their feet, so something to look out for. You may not like for that reason. It doesn't seem to bug me, and they do seem to be kind of developing a little bit of a fold here. I love riding in this thing. I'm kind of a barefoot or natural shoe person, but if you try to run a regular barefoot shoe, they're just way too flimsy. Your feet will get tired. You can try stiffening them up, and this does most of what you'd want. It's not perfect in terms of the sole stickiness. Maybe some people might want it a little stiffer or a little fancier, nicer materials in it, but it does the job. And I think these things generally retail in that like $30, $40 price range, so it's kind of hard to complain. Something like that. Sizing, I would say it's pretty true. This one's a 46, which is what I usually wear, but a very wide, roomy toe box. So I wouldn't say the whole shoe is, let's say, really wide down also in this area, like a true wide shoe, but you definitely get it as you come into this forward portion. Comes in about 4 or 5 colors too, but they all have this kind of strange contrasting panel on the back. So, oh well, you can't be the most stylish person wearing these shoes. So there it is. The Whitin Zero Drop shoe plus wide toe box with contrasting color design.